Hello, welcome to Under the First Floor Lo-Fi Podcast, shitty recordings of bands you should like. My name's David Settle, and on today's episode, we have hardcore band Nine of Swords, comprised of members from both New York and Philadelphia, and a couple of people who've been on the podcast before, previous episodes from Soul Glow and Greg Electric. They're a really incredible hardcore band that's been around for about 8 years now. I first heard of them when I played a show with them about 6 or 7 years ago in New York with my old band and Stove and Washer. It was a really amazing show that I'll always remember. So it's been really cool being able to see them now that I'm living up in Philly. They've been working on a new record for the past year, and they played a bunch of new songs off of that are all really incredible. So I can't wait to hear how that really is going to sound. But in the meantime, you can get some lo-fi renditions of them here. Before we get to the songs, I just want to make a quick note that we still have some copies of the Volume 2 mixtape, which features songs from episodes 21 through 40. You can find that on our Bandcamp, underthefirstfloor.bandcamp.com. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. All of this is done with no money really in mind, but to get some recognition on some lesser-heard bands and to do some shitty recordings of some more well-known bands, but it would be really nice to get some reviews and subscriptions to kind of extend the reach of the podcast to get more people to hear these incredible bands, such as Nine of Swords. And here is their first song, which will be on their new record called Reversed. Hope you enjoy.
I'm CJ, I play drums.
I'm Jack, I play bass.
I'm Rachel, I play voice.
I'm Chris, I play guitar.
Cool. So let's see. What y'all been up to?
We've made a record.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we started tracking in March of this year.
Okay.
And a little bit before that, I was sending some, little guitar demos around, and TJ and I got together a little bit over January and February to just solidify it. Because some of the songs on this are very old. Mm-hmm. They're 4 or 5 years old at this point.
Oh wow.
And then some of them there's one song that we kind of worked out as we were tracking it. So it kind of spans all of, pre-quarantine and through now.
It's almost like a comp record, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of just the things that we've been meaning to put out into the world in the first place.
So that was from 2016 until now? Is that right?
Yeah, because I guess we started working one of the songs that we played today, the Pavement. That's one of the oldest.
We started working on that in 2017.
Yeah, I guess it was 2017 then.
Because I was still living at the time, so it was 2017.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
Have y'all been tracking that in this room?
Yeah,
We just recorded
Yes.
it?
Yeah,
Cool.
we did everything.
How's
here.
that all going? What's the story with that?
It's good. We're at a stage right now. We've been working with Gigi, who's TJ's
sick.
bandmate.
Yeah, it's all
Soul Glow.
Yeah.
Earlier podcast.
Yes. And yeah, it's like we've gotten the bulk of it down. Gigi's starting to mix it, and there's like some other little additions we might throw in. But yeah, we're just we're like 95% there, I would say.
Do y'all have a moment from any of those songs that you're like super stoked on, or like a favorite moment or whole song? Or
I like the Pavement the most.
Yeah.
It's a fun drum song. So
Sure.
it's, always biased
Crazy
towards
drums.
those. Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's a very choreographed kind of song for me. So I like those because it's just like brain off. You just do the thing until it's over, and then it's over. It's a beautiful thing. Very meditative.
Nice. That's definitely a word I would use to describe all these songs. It's only meditative.
It's definitely one of the more like personal ones lyrically, but also like as like performing it, I really like, I don't know, none of the section, like there's a lot of different sections and none of them like burn me out and make me feel like I'm gonna do the next part bad. It's like
gotcha.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like concerned, like, oh, I just fucking destroyed my voice and there's 30 seconds left. And it sounds short, but that's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I really love that song.
And what's that one about lyrically?
It's about my mom. She passed away a few months ago. And I wasn't sure if like even though all these songs, like the guitar and like drums for these songs had been done for a while, I feel like I came together, like most of the lyrics came together pretty recently.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, one of the million of disadvantages of not like performing. It's just like I, you know, haven't had a chance to like see how these, where I want to place things, like, because, you know, after like you play new songs live and then that gives you like more of a feel of how you want to record it. But this was like, okay, we're gonna practice, and if everything works, I'll record next week. Yeah. So.
But I mean, everything sounds fucking tight.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you said a while ago, TJ. Like we're just like a well-oiled machine.
You turn the NOS machine on.
Yeah.
It's just like go.
Exactly.
Um,
Very convenient.
We just MacGyver. If we fuck up, we just MacGyver our way out of it. It's fine. Like everything's always fine. Like that's why I love this band.
y'all been a band for almost 10 years, right? When did y'all start?
Ooh.
2013.
Yeah,
2013.
Shut up. I like that.
That's impressive.
I guess
December-
8 years. Like
Well,
the
it's
end
like-
of this year will be 8 years.
First show is December 4th, 2013. But before that, we dropped something in November of that year, but started practicing in
Like September or October.
September,
Yeah.
October.
Well, it was like like our first. I feel like we got together. Yeah, it was like the fall of 2015. That makes sense. But we had been talking about it the summer going into that year.
Yeah.
Right? This was like
End of spring.
Yeah, it was like
Into
end of
summer.
sophomore year. Me and Chris were like scheming, and then over the summer, Chris wrote a bunch of shit, and then we like came back and just started working on that for like a long time.
Yeah.
And then we didn't play a show till the end of the semester, like you said.
Yeah. You know, we were like in college in our early 20s when this started, so we're like, obviously there's people different, and musically, like, we're all different. I think, like, as a band, what I'm starting to think about as I'm, like, writing this stuff is early on, we've sort of put these little seeds in there, where there's some stuff that we've written that's more like hardcore punk, there's some stuff that's screamo, some stuff that's a little bit more crossover. This, like, upcoming record is, like, leaning in on, like, a lot of just punk and hardcore stuff that we've, you know, been interested in doing kind of since the beginning. And it's like, at this point, we just have, like, a lot to work with, because we've been able to, like, not define ourselves by, like, one form of making heavy music, you know?
Yeah, over the years, I've definitely built up a lot of like scar tissue, and that's making screaming easier. So I'm like, it's fine. I was stoked when you both like asked me about being in the band, but like I had never like played hardcore music before. The closest thing was doing a whole cover set. Yeah, and so I think in the early days, writing was a lot more challenging than it is now, because I like had this idea of what hardcore words are supposed to be, and like I'm like, oh, so much of it is bad, and like I want to like write good stuff, but can that work in this context? And I'm just like, fuck yeah, I can. Like I'm like, yeah, so yes.
I'm just thinking about how like when I started playing in the band, I didn't like ignorant hardcore, and now I like ignorant hardcore. So like, yeah, I like stuff
a
like
lot
that.
has changed.
Yeah,
So that's
Yeah.
like different ends of the spectrum between your all's answers.
yeah, but it's like it's.
But it works.
Yeah. So it's-
Yeah. what are some more current influences you're bringing into the newer stuff?
Well, I mean, Chris has definitely been on a chain funk kick for a minute here. So there's definitely some newer stuff that kind of echoes that.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, there's like some current bands that like had even been putting stuff out around the time we started that like I just wasn't aware of. So like there's bands like Warthog or Bib who've been like really, you know, blowing my mind. I read like an article about, you know, Bib like talking about the evil riff, which is like I think something TJ and I have like thought about for a long time.
Yeah, it is like it's just good to know that it's like a folk concept.
Oh,
There
yeah,
are other people on the same page. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, you're just trying to make like the most evil sounding shit possible.
Yeah.
Like, that's really all you need.
Which like those have like bands like those have definitely been big. But I mean, I don't know. It's like it's like a day to day with me. There's like a different little like EP or album that I'm just like completely obsessing over, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it bounces around. Like it's things like those bands, but like Lungfish is like a kind of a constant in there, and like
Life Without Buildings.
I mean,
that was a big one for us.
Y'all just put out that live EP cover.
Oh my god, yeah.
Sounds so good.
It was like my favorite and I've done a lot of cover sets for the record. That was like my favorite cover set ever, for sure.
Was that the only one y'all have done as a band?
I think so.
Yeah, we've played covers like over the years.
Yeah, we've done
Yeah.
covers before, but not like a whole set.
Gotcha.
That's
What else
like
have y'all
next
covered?
week.
We covered a Bad Brain song. Is it the Regulator? Or
Yes.
that's the first one. That
Yeah, that's right. We did do the
Yeah.
regulator.
The Regulator, and then that was at Purchase. I feel like
One time we covered part of a Nirvana song.
Mm-hmm.
We did the intro and like the first verse and chorus of Lithium, and then like
we did
fed
In
it
Bloom.
in. In Bloom. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Sorry to correct you. No.
No. We got to get it on the record here.
Someone at that show's gonna be like, wait,
Fuck
wrong
off.
song.
Not lithium. You
Poser.
motherfucker.
Play a show so fucking bad.
yes.
Yeah. We're all like a couple weeks ago we were practicing. We were like whatever offers are out there, like we're down. Yeah.
I mean, also, it's just like, to be real, it's like, though I've been taking all the precautions necessary, I've had to work in person this entire fucking time. So I'm like very desensitized to the concept of being around other people just because I've had to do it just to make money this whole time. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, if I die, I die. It's soul crushing, not going on anymore.
No,
It's just like fucked up.
Yes, no, I feel that.
I'm just like, fuck. Like, it's like going to work and then just coming home. That's it. I'm like, that's too little. I need one other thing and then I'm good.
Yeah, if the risk is already being introduced, like, I don't know. Like,
Exactly. It's just like, yeah, it's like the nature of what I do for a living is such that I can't, like, just work from home. So, I've already been kind of put in this difficult position the entire time, and now that I'm vaccinated and I feel like things are starting to turn around, it's like I'll wear a mask, I'll do everything that any guidelines that people want to do. Obviously, I'm more than happy to do that. I just need to play.
Yeah.
An outdoor show doesn't seem like totally out of.
Oh, I definitely think those are totally safe.
At this point,
Yeah,
I was like, if you talked to me even like 3 months ago, I'd be like, I don't know.
How do you feel about a basement show right now?
I mean, I
mean, and pandemic or not, summer basement show.
yeah, summer basement show, like, please, no.
I'm okay with not that.
Very
but
good point. Very good point.
It was like playing in like in the Gray's warehouse.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes, yeah.
It was 110
in
fucking
2019.
degrees.
Terrifying.
Holy shit, that was like,
Absolutely
Yeah.
horrifying.
yeah. There's like a lot. Like I don't know if I'm eager to go back to that. I mean, like not many show spaces are like much different than that. In fairness, but I mean, there's always gonna be a spot in my heart for basement shows. Like I don't think I'll personally ever.
Just like in the fall or springtime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Winter, maybe.
Yeah.
There are like
someone's
amenable
making a
times
stew.
of year for it.
Yeah.
Like summer is
Yeah.
not necessarily high on the list for house.
Thanks so much to Nine of Swords for letting me record their session. If you want to hear more from them, you can go to the9ofswords.bandcamp.com. You can also find them on Instagram at 9ofgourds and on Twitter at 9osband. If you'd like to get in touch with me about the podcast, you can email underthefirstfloor@gmail.com. You can also find it on Instagram at underthefirstfloor and on Twitter at UTFFpodcast. For the last couple of songs, I'm going to leave you with some hardcore tracks from my old neck of the woods, aka the Southeast. The first being from Tallahassee band Duckus. I assume that's how you say that. I've never actually heard the name said out loud. But this is a song called Issue from their release Lick It Up on Rip Records. It was released February of 2020, right before the whole pandemic. A really incredible band comprised of people who have been in incredible punk bands and indie bands for almost a decade now in Tallahassee, some even more than that. Just people I really respect, and they put out a really incredible record, and you should go check that out. It's Duckis for those wondering. And the last song will be from the band Waste Man, a song called The Siren. This is a New Orleans band who put out the record One Day It'll Be You on Feel It Records from April of this year. I don't really know much about them, but I've heard this record earlier this year and have been really in love with it. They kind of remind me of an older New Orleans band called Pudge that I really also loved. So it's cool to see that sound still going down there. I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a good week, and we'll see you next time.